I'll have it with my cup of tea. I better not have it just now. I'm going to speak to the folks. I've just turned the camera on. How are you doing there, folks? Happy New Year to you. It's 2nd of January, so this is our first wee trip of the year. A kind of impromptu, unplanned adventure to the north and west. We're on the island of Skye. I'm on the high point on the wee road that goes across to Kylree, where the wee chain ferry is, if you know that, plies its way between Kylree and Glenelg there. So we set off actually quite late today, close to lunchtime actually, and then we wound our way up the road and we came here by a very circuitous route. We went all the way up the A9 to Inverness, in fact, instead of making a more direct journey. And then from Inverness we went up towards Garve and then across to Achnasheen, and then we wound our way down through the hills. Absolutely gorgeous going through the hills, although quite stormy at times and really torrential rain. But high cloud actually, the tops were open, we could see distant hills, and so we came down. We ended up at Ochtertyre. Do you know where Ochtertyre is, Mo?
Oh, hateful. Nightmare.
Mo and I quite like climbing random hills, so I think I've said many times on the channel that I've explored pretty much all of the high ground in Scotland now, but there are one or two random little bumps that I hadn't been over, or there's still a few that I haven't been over, I suppose. Ochtertyre Hill was one of them, and I said to Mo, it'll only take us half an hour to get up there. Anyway, it was a wee bit.
Well, I said no, didn't I?
You did several times, but I said we might as well go and do it. We're here now, and it was quite difficult getting up there. But we did a traverse of it, and we came down a different way, and we got into bracken.
How high?
Head high bracken, and there must have been about 10,000
ticks.
Hectares of it, yeah, and probably ticks as well. It was quite. Yeah, it was quite the outing. It wasn't easy.
And brambles.
Yeah, and then once we got lower down, we got into woodland. It was festooned with brambles. So,
like, hateful trip.
So every time we drive past Ochtertyre, I'm reminded of that decision to go and climb the wee hill.
Yeah, I'm reminded of that awful experience. I should have said no. Well, I did. I just insisted.
Yeah, maybe you should have insisted. Anyhow, that's where we ended up. We came out onto the main road at Ochtertyre, and then we scooted along to the Kyle of Lochhouse and then across the bridge, and we're here now. This high point is the Bealach. Can you remember the name of it, Mo? I've camped here so many times. Camped here as a boy on my bike. But despite that, I can't remember the name of it. I don't know where I am. Bear with me, folks. I'll be here someplace. I've got a filming lamp shining in my eyes. I can't see. Bealach Udal. So we're camped just literally, I think, on the high point of Bealach Udal. Ben Aslach over your shoulder there, you remember we did that? And the 2 or 3 outliers, one of them is a marlin, by the way, and the other couple are just random hills that were on my personal list. In here we've got Sgurr Coinnich, another molehill.
I don't really care.
Sgurr Coinnich, I'll tell you the story of that one, folks. We were on the summit of that by 9 o'clock one day, and that might not seem...
AM.
Yeah, 9 AM, yes, yeah. That might not seem much of an achievement, but if I told you that we set off from Edinburgh to climb it, and we still managed to get to the summit by 9 o'clock, I think we set off at about 3 o'clock, or maybe before that, in the morning. And the reason for that was there was an amazing spell of weather forecast, but lasting only about 3 days. High pressure for 3 days. So we came up, we climbed that, and Mo had a rest sitting by the cairn, and I went across from Sgurr na Coinnich to the other hill, which is similar sounding name, Ben na Callach. And I climbed Ben na Callach, and then I came back and I picked Mo up. We dropped down, and then I abandoned Mo and I went up north to around Broadford, all the red coolins, the Jerrigs, and I did a whole host of them, up and down, here, there and everywhere. A massive day of hills, and then back down to the car, back down. We were staying in Kyle of Lochhouse, yeah? So I came back to meet Mo and have a late bit of dinner. And then you watched the grand finale of the Great British Bake Off. Is that right?
Yes.
I went out fishing just to try a cast or two. I caught a fish.
No, you didn't catch a fish. The fish caught you.
I harpooned a fish. This poor fish.
The fish wasn't attempted.
No.
It wasn't his fault.
The fish was swimming past like that, and I threw my lure out and I pulled it back, and I foul hooked this poor fish.
I know, it's horrible.
It wasn't badly hurt. I managed to free it up and band-aid on and put it back. It swam away, it was fine, I'm sure. It'll be this size by now. So that's the hills on either side of us. We're camped in between them, and despite the fact that it's raining outside and it's been hammering down today on and off, and windy as well, I think tomorrow's going to be a better day. So I might get up the hill tomorrow. If I go up the hill tomorrow, folks, I'll take you with me. Am I taking you as well, Mo?
I'm afraid you'll be on your own, buddy.
Really? It's hill revisited. You'll so
Why?
regret it.
It's alright. I've got more than enough chances to go on random hills.
Well, we'll see what I don't want to wake up in the morning and sit around waiting on a weather window, so if it's not looking too bad, we'll go and do it. If it's absolutely hammering down, since I've been over it 2 or 3 times, I don't think I'll go up in ridiculously wet conditions. But if the better weather comes in as forecast, should be able to get up there and get a wee view. And then, what are we going to do?
I assume by we you mean you and the camera.
Thinking us, you and me.
Coffee shop?
Coffee shop. Quite keen on going over to the island of Raasay, but the ferries are a little bit difficult just now because there's so many people off sick with COVID. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they'll let us on.
We'll see.
And if they let us on and we get across it, I'm not sure that they'll let us come back again. So Mo's got to get back down the road towards the end of the week. You've got work to do.
I'll be fine.
Yeah, well, we maybe do that if we can get across to the island of Raasay. We'll take the van though, I think, and camp over there. Yeah. So there's no unclimbed hills on Raasay either. We've done them all. Normally we go to Raasay a little bit later than this and go up to the north end to stay in a bothy, Tiag Thormagdu. Is that the correct pronunciation? Black Norman's place. But we're not going to do that. It's a little bit early in the year and we're not prepared for it. You need coal and
water.
We wouldn't need water. We'll be able to get rainwater off the roof in these conditions. But there's other things to do on Raasay rather than explore the north end. We know the north end of the island very well because it's rocky and hilly and wild. The south end is a little bit tamer, but there's a bit of coastal walking. There's that hill, Dun Caan.
Duncan,
no, Dun Caan. Anyhow, folks, the wee New Year blether for you. Not sure how much of this I'm going to use. I'm going to have my cup of tea. It'll be cool enough now. I'm going to climb into my bunk with my book. So we'll get back to you in the morning. We'll see what the weather brings and what we can get up to. Morning, folks. It's not exactly an early start this morning. I was up and about, but we had a lazy morning in the van because the snow has been hammering down. We've had a bit of everything. It was a wild night. In fact, I think Mo had a bit of trouble sleeping. It was so loud and the van was rocking with the wind and the rain was hammering, but I didn't hear any of it. I slept like a baby. So we're up. I've washed and cleaned up, had my breakfast, chucked a couple of things in the rucksack, and I'm going to head on up the hill. I'm going to take you with me, folks, but I'm doing a wee bit of dialogue here because it's just too windy out there, so I'm not even going to put a wind muffler on the camera. I'm just going to take the camera and the tripod, and I might do a bit of handheld as well. I'll capture 2 or 3 minutes of footage on the way up there. We'll see if there's a bit of a view. The weather's supposed to get better. as the day progresses, but I think now the more settled weather is late afternoon, and we'll be packed up and out of here before then. We're heading a little bit north this afternoon, so let me get to it. Take you up this hill, we'll have a wee look, see what we find. This is the summit cone, folks. I'm just tucked in out the wind here underneath the summit. Oh, excuse my runny nose. It's pretty cold up here. There's a wee lock-in a little bit further back, and I hunkered down there, layered up for the exposed ground. But it's squalls today, so sometimes it's pretty calm, and other times just about pick you up and blow you away. It's not ideal weather for setting up the tripod and walking through the shots. I've done a little bit for you, give you a flavour of the hill, but not very much. Hey. Oh, I see a trig point. Let me show you where we've come from. You see that in the mist? There's a bit of up and down to get to the summit of this hill, folks.
wind, I decided to adopt a fairly straight line up through the corrie, which was a little bit more sheltered but fairly unforgiving terrain. The ridges would have been easier underfoot, but the wind might have been a problem now and again. Well folks, I'm on the summit. I'm not going to hang around here very long. I did a wee piece to camera. I handheld the camera coming up over the last wee bit of the summit dome, just to this point here, and then I did a wee panorama, but there's a wee squally wind. I've got the camera tucked down behind a little shelter cairn beside the trig point here, so you're more or less out the wind just now. I'll see if I can use any of the footage or the dialogue that I filmed when I showed you Glenelg, away to my left there, and then looking down towards Glen Shiel there, and then over in behind there I can see the black Coolin and the red Coolin, and yeah. You get the viewing set up, Mo. Well folks, we've had a lovely meal. We're camped up just touching distance of the sea. We're right on the west coast of the island of Raasay, so we've got a lovely spot. It's not the bonniest of spots, but it's flat, it's by the sea. There's a wee jetty in behind us where the fishermen set off, so there's a bit of fishing paraphernalia around here. But we're not going to disturb anybody tonight, and we'll be up and away reasonably early in the morning. I don't know if there's any boats going out or coming in the morning, but if there is a bit of activity, it'll be a wee bit of entertainment for us to watch, because we're parked a ways away from where the fishermen ply their trade, so which is actually out to sea, where they load up and unload, is what I mean. So we're going to yeah, the van's become a boat, a ship. Yeah, so we're going to watch a bit of a movie here, and then we're just going to climb into the bunks, I think, read for a wee while. So quite a relaxed afternoon and evening, although a busy morning. I enjoyed that shower when I came down off the hill. I was quite sweaty when I got back down off the hill. I came down pretty quickly. I felt quite sluggish going up the hill today, carrying the camera, and it was pretty slippy. And but coming down, I put the camera away, and I had my poles, so I could bit of a hop and a skip on the way down. It was good fun, and nice to come back to a warm van, bit of lunch, quick shower. So tomorrow, we'll see what the weather's going to do. I quite fancy going up onto the high ground again tomorrow. Do you fancy that, Mo?
Maybe.
Maybe. I think if we do head up towards Dun Caan, I don't think we'll set off from here. There's a track actually goes up from here, but it's a very convoluted route from here, although it is a sea level start. But I think what we'll do is we'll spin round to...
No, I mean here, yeah.
Yes, so yeah. I think we'll go up from in there. So we'll go slightly to the north of the hill, and then we'll come heading south-southwest, and then we'll south-southeast, and then we'll turn east, and we'll go east all the way to the summit. It's an interesting hill. We'll see if we can get up there tomorrow. The forecast and the weather are not in sync just now, so the forecast is actually not that bad. But the forecast for this evening wasn't too bad either, and we had a little bit of everything. It was fairly wild about an hour ago when we were cooking up, and the snow turned back to rain again. The temperature has risen a bit, and there's a fair covering of cloud now. It was a clear sky when we were sailing across, so we'll just have to see what we get. But for now, I think we're going to kick back, relax, enjoy a bit of viewing and a wee bit of reading. A fairly early night, I'm not sure that we'll be up and about at the crack of dawn, but we'll see. It's quite cold getting up in the morning. We'll put the heating on. That's what we did this morning. We got the heating on, and then just lay in the duvet reading for a wee while till the van was warm enough to start moving around. So we'll see how we get on tomorrow. But anyhow, folks, we'll check in with you in the morning. So good night for now.
We're on Raasay, and that's the hills on Skye you can see. It's snowing already. Is that Dun Caan?
Yeah, I think so, isn't it? Yeah. Be careful on this road, though.
Yeah, careful. Oh, sheepies.
Where are we heading, Mo? Dun Caan. What's the track like?
Careful the ice.
Quite hard going, eh?
Yeah, careful there's ice. Yeah, remember this part being this hard.
It's just the condition of it today, Mo. That's the summit, Mo, Dun Caan. But there's a wee sting in the tail, there's a lock-in between us and then.
Yeah.
So we've got to go up to that ridge, and then we drop down really steeply to the water, and then back up. The camera's wiggling about in the wind here. Let's march on.
Let's go. I'll go. We go.
I think the hill is called Dun Caan, Mo, and that little lock-in is called Dun Caan.
Oh.
We were lock-in in about 5 minutes time.
There's quite a big lock according to the map.
Yeah. It's probably quite an important part of fresh water.
Well, Raasay is quite short of water. It's the only boating we've been that has no water source.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
It's an incongruous place to find a body of water perched up on the top here.
Do you see a drop?
You can't see the drop, but the folks will see it in a minute when we hike round.
You think there's fish in it?
Yeah, there might be wee brownies. Yeah, but not perch like this on the edge.
Always like smaller.
So that's the wee sting in the tail for
Dun Caan.
Dun Caan, and that's the summit over there. There's no way around it except to scramble down here, so I'm going to switch the camera off. It's quite icy, I need my hands. You take care here, Mo, okay?
Ah.
Pretty icy.
Yup.
Well done.
Here. I'm here.
And there's the bigger.
Oh, yeah, that's the big one.
That's the bigger body of water there.
That's massive, isn't it?
Yeah.
Must be fish in there.
Yeah. ready to sail back over to Skye, Mo? Think it's going to be choppy out there, Mo?
I think so. It's quite windy.
It was quite choppy coming over last night.
Mm.
Doing it in daylight today, but we're staying in the cabin here, folks. In the truck cabin. We're not going out because of the COVID. Just happy that the ferries are running, to be honest. So where next, Mo?
It's up to you.
We need to be thinking about heading back down the road, maybe starting the journey tomorrow.
Or we could just go all the way up to Uig and go to Outer Hebrides.
We could do. I'm sure that we've got the time for that, especially with the weather. Tell you what would be nice, to go and camp underneath Blavin tonight down at the sea again.
That'd be good.
Camp lower down. We were right on the sea last night, although once it starts you don't know where you are.
Exactly. It's up to you. I'm happy.
I think we might do that. So over to Sconser, turn left down to Broadford and then head down that road to Elgall, but we only have to go, it's only about 10k down that road. Actually might be able to show the folks a bit of our campsite. They've not seen any of our camping sites this time because it's been pitch dark when we got there.
But well, we will have a little bit of daylight, I think.
Yeah, what time is it? My watch has got turned around here. It is. It's just after 2:30, so
We'll get on the other side about 3.
yeah. Will we do that?
Okay.
Easy day. Switch the camera on when we get down to the loft. Okay, we'll check in with you soon, folks. Bye for now. Roughing it in the hills.
Yeah, right. How's your hot chocolate?